Hey everyone, welcome to this replay of the live that I did on Instagram. If you are watching this portion, you probably are watching the replay, or maybe you are watching this on YouTube because I finally decided to start uploading my live replays onto YouTube. So wherever you're watching this from, welcome. And now we have people joining the live on Instagram. Welcome everyone. Hello. Feel free to drop in the chat where you're from. I'm from Toronto, Canada. It is currently thunderstorming here, so if you hear thunderstorm noises in the background, that is why. I'll briefly introduce myself, and I don't really have a topic for being live right now, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat. I will ramble about a few things if no one asks any questions, but I'm sure people will. Awesome. We've got Loretta from, I'm assuming that's Florida. Plurals from Tucson. I know that that's pronounced Tucson, not Tucson, Arizona. I'm Canadian, so forgive me. Giant killer, we need some of that storm, break this heat. Yeah, we've had a heat wave here too. It's been like horrifying, but thank goodness for air conditioning. I hope you guys get rain wherever you are if you need the rain. And yeah, so hello, I'm Adriana. I am a trauma-informed life coach based out of Toronto, Canada, and I help survivors of narcissistic abuse to heal, set boundaries, and live life on their own terms. And I was raised by a narcissist, and the way I became a coach is so convoluted. And as I ramble, feel free to drop any questions you have into the chat, because I don't really have a topic for this live. It's just whatever you guys want to talk about. Let's go for it. So yeah, basically I was raised by a narcissistic mother. She died 4 years ago. It's not sad. It is not sad. And she did not change. She took all her bullshit with her to her grave. Like, you know, they literally, when they say they don't change, like they don't change. And I had very severe chronic pain from 2015. I had a wisdom tooth extraction, and then it was just like this slippery slope of nonsense from moving forward after that. I ended up getting migraines, TMJ dysfunction. I got carpal tunnel. I had surgery in 2017. I still have a little scar right there. Whatever, it is what it is. And I was gonna, oh, that was lightning. I was gonna get surgery on the other hand, but then I found out about the mind-body connection. And I ended up getting shingles in my mouth at the ripe old age of 30 in 2018. And it was horrible. Like, you're not supposed to get shingles when you're 30. And I had also gotten shingles when I was 23 as well. So it was just like, oh, lucky me. Like I just win like the shit hand of cards in life, you know, in more than one way, like getting shingles twice by 30, being raised by a narcissistic mother, all the things. And I ended up with something called trigeminal neuralgia, which is nicknamed the suicide disease because that's how painful it is. And I, you know, literally told my husband at that point, this is 5 years ago, like, I'm going to try to make it to 40. You're potentially going to be a widower by then, but I'm going to see what I can do to give you another 10 years because if 30 is this bad, like, I am terrified of what aging has in store for me. Plurals, you got shingles when you were 26. I am so sorry. That is a shit. Like, shingles is fucking, like, the only way that I can describe what shingles feels like is like there is lightning hitting your skin and there's acid being poured on it and it's on fire all at the same time. And like, that's even an understatement. Like, shingles is absolutely horrifying. So yeah, so I ended up with something called trigeminal neuralgia after, and I was just like desperate for pain relief. I tried absolutely everything possible for plurals. Yeah, you agree. That's what it feels like. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's fucking horrible. And so I tried everything. So I, you know, trigeminal neuralgia, TMJ dysfunction, carpal tunnel. I had tennis elbow. I don't play tennis. I had runner's knee. I don't run. Like, just all of these things were wrong with me, and I was just in excruciating pain every single day. And I tried everything, like, you know, nerve block injections, Botox for migraines. Oh my God, what else? Medical marijuana. I couldn't take painkillers anymore because I was getting ulcers. Like, you name it, like, I tried it. Chiropractor, acupuncture, etc., etc. And I was seriously considering like this brain surgery for the trigeminal neuralgia where they like sever the nerve and you lose all the feeling in your face, because like I didn't care anymore. I was just like, I cannot deal with this pain. Like it was freaking terrible. And then I found out about something called the mind-body connection, which is the work of the late Dr. John Sarno. And he discovered in his practice as an actual doctor, like he wasn't like a quack or like a chiropractor or a naturopath or like anything like that. Like he was an actual like medical doctor. And he discovered that, he had a lot of patients who had back pain, and their MRIs, like it just didn't make any sense. Like some people had herniations, some people didn't. Some people had like really bad herniations, but there were people with like better looking structurally backs that like were in more pain. Like it just didn't make any sense. And so he realized that it was actually not because of the structural abnormalities, because structural abnormalities are actually normal. It's a natural part of the aging process. He said it's like, oh, that was lightning. I'm always going to get distracted by the lightning. So and I'm sure you might hear the thunder now. So it really is thunderstorming here. He said that structural abnormalities in like the skeleton is basically like the wrinkles and gray hairs of inside the body. It's just aging, and doesn't have to hurt. Like wrinkles don't hurt, gray hair doesn't hurt. And so it basically is the theory that chronic physical pain that persists for longer than 6 months, it's not about the original injury anymore, because the body does heal itself within 3 to 6 months, depending, on the higher end of that 6 months if it was like a really bad injury, but generally speaking, like within 3 months. And it's actually because of childhood trauma it's because of repressed emotions from childhood trauma. And just real quick, I'm going to read this comment from Loretta. I awoke every morning with migraines, which once I divorced my ex-husband, the narcissist, the migraines went away with him. Amazing. See, there's the mind-body connection in action right there. And so, so it's basically repressed emotions. Chronic pain is repressed emotions at the end of the day. I know that sounds like really controversial to say in like the chronic pain spaces and stuff like that, but I mean, I am living proof that like it's the case. And when I first learned about it, and as I continue rambling, please feel free to drop any questions in the chat, because I will definitely be doing some Q&A here if you guys want to. If you don't, then all right, you miss out. But I was actually offended when I first learned about the mind-body connection, because I was like, I don't have childhood trauma. Like, what? Because like when you hear the word trauma, you think of like a car accident or like physical abuse, sexual abuse, growing up in a war zone, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, like there's other children who have like actual childhood trauma. Like, what's my problem? Like this is bogus. This doesn't make any sense. And so obviously I was pissed off for about 24 hours after learning about this, but then I had the gift of desperation. So I decided to go for it and do the inner work. I was like, okay, humor me, like whatever, mind-body connection, let's see, like whatever. And within 4 months, I was completely pain-free. Like it was insane. Like I couldn't believe it. And within the first like 2 weeks of doing the inner work, it was wild. I had like a 20 or so percent reduction in like my overall pain level. So like I knew it was working, but I had this crazy experience where I had my first like 5 minutes of no pain at all. And like, I thought I was dead. Like I thought I was like levitating over my body or something. I'll never forget. I was in the kitchen at my old place with my husband, and I was like, are we really having this conversation right now? Am I like seriously alive? Because I don't feel any pain. And like, am I gonna look down and like my body is there? Like what is like, is this how normal people feel all the time? Like what? Like I was so bamboozled. So he confirmed I was alive, and sure enough, I was alive. I'm still alive. Hi. And yeah, like it's legit. Like the mind-body connection is a real thing. And yeah, so that's kind of why I became a coach. So here I am, and just felt like going live tonight. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Anything that you want any like advice on or anything like that, anything healing from narcissistic abuse, go for it. Otherwise, I can talk about some random stuff. So I can talk about why you gaslight yourself. So I'll do that because I see people are actually watching, but no one's saying anything, which, all right. So here are some mistakes that you can avoid to stop gaslighting yourself. And narcissists, so let's first of all talk about what gaslighting is. So this is when a narcissist makes you second guess reality. Like you don't know if the sky is blue anymore. Like they will say something and then you'll say like, oh, like you just said this, and they'll be like, I never said that. And they'll really be so confident and convincing that you start questioning like, oh, like maybe I just hallucinated that, like that maybe wasn't real. And so then you can start gaslighting yourself once you've been gaslit, right? And if it's like something that's been over a period of time and since childhood in a lot of cases, you start to gaslight yourself. And so something to stop assuming, one of the mistakes that we make is that we're assuming that the narcissist is doing their best. And then you start gaslighting yourself because you're not defining what their best is, because their best is not the same as your best. Their best is they're doing their best at manipulating you and fucking with your head and trying to make you as confused as possible so that, you gaslight yourself. And then the next mistake is when we forget that the narcissist is an adult who is capable of free will, choice, and thought, right? Like they are choosing their behavior. They know how to behave based on who their audience is. And that's a big clue that like, yes, they know exactly what they're doing. I see some questions have come through, so I will answer them, but let me just get through a couple more points of the next 3 mistakes, and then I will go through all the questions. So thank you for asking the questions, everyone. Mistake number 3 is buying into the illusion that the narcissist wants you to believe, which keeps you stuck in a self-gaslighting spiral while they keep getting supply from you. And supply is their goal. This is your emotional reaction, your time, your energy. This is what they're feeding off of, and supply is all it's about and all it ever will be about. And then mistake number 4 that we make is giving the narcissist the benefit of the doubt while we doubt our own intuition. And, sometimes we don't even know what the intuition sounds like because the inner critic is so loud. And I actually have an entire module in my Bulletproof group coaching program, which is on a wait list right now. If you are interested in getting on the wait list, maybe if you put the word waitlist in the comments, it might send you the link. If it doesn't, just send me a DM here on Instagram with the word waitlist and you'll get the link to apply. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, the link will be in the description. And then we've got mistake number 5, which is believing the lies that the narcissists, enablers, and flying monkeys tell you. And, they really kind of play the narcissist's game with them so that you continue doubting yourself and gaslighting yourself. So I'm just going to scroll here and check the questions. So SKG asks, how do you respond to aggressions? And don't respond, right? They want you, they're being aggressive so that you do respond. You give them a reaction, right? When you kind of like don't care about their aggressions and you're like, all right, cool, like whatever, they're probably going to try harder, but you have to remember what their goal is, and that is to get supply from you. That's your emotional reaction, your time, your energy, your engagement in these stupid conversations, right? Like you taking the blame for everything and, apologizing, and they really want to make you feel guilt, shame, or fear. So when they're being aggressive towards you, they're trying to make you afraid. They want to control you with fear. And now, obviously, disclaimer, if they're being physically aggressive and violent, like that is a law enforcement thing. That's not something a video can help you with. You need to get enforcement involved. I can't help you with that. But, if they're being like verbally aggressive and stuff like that, they're really just trying to get a reaction out of you. So the best way to respond is to not, you're not playing that game. Like, okay, cool. Like, that's what you want to say. All right, whatever. Kian D, 21. I have narcissistic tendencies from my mother. I gaslight others. I'm in a PHP program for mood and it's not helping. What do you recommend? I mean, the fact that you're able to self-reflect is great, right? It means you're not a narcissist, and like everybody has tendencies at the end of the day. And so I would encourage you to explore like the stuff that you are gaslighting other people on. Like the fact that you're even self-reflecting on it, that's great. Like that shows growth, and you're probably not like a full-blown narcissist. You just have like fleas, narcissistic fleas, where it's like, you know, you can kind of flick them off because you can become aware of it and decide like, I don't want to be like this. So, you know, do some self-reflection, do some journaling. I do have a free quiz at the link in my bio. Maybe if you write the word quiz in the chat, it might send you the quiz to your DMs as well. So try it. If it doesn't work, send me the word quiz in my DMs, or just go to the link in my bio and you'll see it there too. And the results for the quiz that you take is going to have journaling instructions, and that can help you start doing that self-reflection and processing emotions. And when you see the instructions, you'll see what it's about. It's not like the typical Dear Diary and then you have to worry about someone finding what you wrote. It's completely not that. So check it out in the quiz results. Alicia Surf, doesn't make any sense and logic when they talk. Exactly. Like when you really listen to the words they're saying, they're just like throwing words together to say things, and it doesn't make sense because it's not supposed to make sense. They don't want it to make sense. They want to confuse you because confused people are easier to control. Kian, they don't understand that when I say I'm a piece of shit, that I'm actually serious and not just self-hating. I'm in misery. Yeah, and like that's so common for a lot of survivors of narcissistic abuse as well. So like that's repressed shame. So reflecting on that repressed shame, processing it, and the journaling can definitely help with that. That can be really helpful. Sincerely, officially, Rob. Yes, that still happens to me. I know they're lying, and I can catch myself almost believing the lies, almost if I'm being forced to, then forcing myself to see reality. Yeah, it's good that you're able to recognize that it is lies, and like you're able to force yourself to see reality. That's really hard to do. So I'm really proud of you for being able to do that. And, you know, as you do the inner work and, you know, focus on your healing journey, it's going to start getting easier. Hustle and glow, girl. Narc siblings are so hard to deal with. Why do parents enable and support those children over the ones who aren't draining them? Could the parents be narcissistic too, right? Because like a lot of the times in a narcissistic parent dynamic, there will be one sibling who's like the golden child, and a lot of the times, not all the time, I'm not bashing on all golden children, but a lot of the time the golden child can become a narcissist themselves, and then there's the scapegoat. And you know, there are golden childs out there. I've worked with them who like recognize like this was abuse. They realize they were abused too, and they choose not to be abusive. And like that's the thing. Abuse is always a choice that an abuser makes. So your narc siblings, like if your parents are enabling them, the thing with enablers is that enablers are just as toxic as narcissists, right? Because they're not putting a stop to anything. They're like okay with it. They're allowing this person to continue abusing, and it's not okay. So if someone's an enabler, like what does that say about them? You know what I mean? Like maybe they are that way as well, and maybe you're not the main target. Like it just really depends like totally on the dynamic. But yeah, if the abuser's getting all the support, you want to start questioning like the supporters. Alicia, the funny thing, at the beginning of the relationship, they may make sense. Gaslighting happens later. I always fall in this trap, and I'm emotionally attached, and it's harder to trust what I want. And that's how it works, right? Because like if they didn't successfully get you emotionally attached, the gaslighting wouldn't work, right? And like they mess with your emotions so much, and this is why I cannot stress enough. As survivors, we have to do the emotional work. I still do the emotional work, and I'm like 5.5 years into my healing journey. I still do the work. I still journal. I still process my emotions. My brain still tells me it's not safe, and I still remind myself. Like, so it's just really getting in touch with those emotions and processing them helps you to start trusting yourself and your intuition. And you'll be able to catch like the early warning signs in like a relationship or whatever where they're love bombing you, because the love bombing is done to gain your trust, because you're not going to like, they have to make themselves likable in the love bombing stage, because you're not gonna you're not going to trust somebody who you don't like. So they're going to tell you whatever they think you want to hear, and make sure that you start trusting them. And then as soon as they've gained your trust, that's when the devaluation starts, right? Love bomb, devalue, discard. It's all the cycle of abuse. Free to be me. How do you still stay silent and strong when not trying to engage, and then they still try to provoke you to get a rise out of you? Yeah, so it's hard, right? Because you've literally been conditioned to, react, right? And so it takes work. It's not going to be an overnight process. And so this is why, the journaling super helpful. Take the quiz at the link in my bio, or drop the word quiz in my DMs. It might work if you drop it in the chat. I don't know if I set up the automation. Try it. If you don't get a DM from me, like as soon as you write quiz, just DM me the word quiz and it'll send it to you. And do that journaling exercise. And that's going to help you be less reactive over time. It's not an overnight process, right? This is like years, decades, potentially your whole life potentially of conditioning to be reactive, because that's what narcissists want. And so it's not going to be this like overnight thing where you're just going to be like, oh, okay, I am the grayest rock ever and I don't react anymore, right? Like it's hard. It's hard because your emotions are screaming at you. And this is why you have to process them, because it's going to help you be able to be a gray rock. Sincerely, officially, Rob. Definitely sometimes it feels as if they sucked out all my energy after they genuinely say something like they care, but can tell they feel nothing. Exactly. Like their words are all bullshit. Awesome. I see a few people wrote quiz, so hopefully it sent you the DM. Let me know. If it didn't, just DM me the word quiz and it will definitely work. Jay Cass, my father-in-law claims he's in therapy and wants to talk, but I feel like it's a trap. It's a trap. It's 100% a trap. Trust your intuition on this one, because it's 1,000% a trap. And like it's a form of love bombing, right? Like he knows that you want him to go to therapy and like do the work and start getting better and to change. And so he's saying to you that he's doing therapy and wants to talk as a way to gain your trust, because that's what love bombing is for. It's to gain your trust. And so if you do go to therapy with him, it's going to be a shit show. He's going to manipulate the therapist, or, he's going to have like his own lies and shit like that. It's going to be a colossal waste of your time. And it's a trap. Like, trust yourself here. Jen, I finally found help with EMDR therapy. What is your opinion on this method? So, I mean, if it's working for you, great. Like, my opinion's not going to change anything. If you have found help with EMDR, that's amazing. I've tried it myself. It didn't work for me. I have some clients who have tried it that didn't work for them, but I have some other clients who have tried it and they swear by it and they love it. So, I mean, if you find that it works for you and it's doing something for you, do it, right? Like, do what works. But like, the only thing I'll really say is like, there's no modality that's like the be all and end all except for processing your emotions, and whichever way works for you to process those emotions, do it. I think journaling is the best way. Again, that quiz that I keep talking about, try it out. The instructions are there, and whatever works for you. If you found a therapist that is helpful and helping you work through it, fantastic. All hail the lizard queen, trying to confuse, but they just tire you out with word salads and obvious lies. Yeah, and like they tire you out on purpose, because tired people are easier to control as well. They want you to be tired, because like when you're exhausted, you're gonna just give in just so they fucking stop, right? So that's another tactic. Angel without the halo. What about when you ask them about something and then they take the situation and totally flip everything on you and then play victim? It's so draining. It makes you not even want to say anything. Yeah, that's textbook narcissism right there. Like, that is what they do. Like, and like, this is why don't ask them things. Don't engage in conversations with them. Don't tell them things. Do not engage, because anytime that you give them any words or any questions, they find a way to make some mental gymnastics to paint themselves as the victim and flip everything. And that's DARVO, right? It's an acronym. It stands for deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. So anytime you call a narcissist out or you ask them a question to like clarify their behavior, they're going to DARVO on you. They're going to deny that that was their intention. They're going to attack you, and then they're going to reverse victim and offender. So they're going to make themselves the victim. They're going to make you the bad guy, because this is what narcissists do. And it is draining, because they want you to be drained, because drained people are easier to control, right? And it's confusing, and confused people are easier to control. And this is why do not engage with these people, because there's nothing good's going to come out of it. Sincerely official. Why do they like to keep you confused, lie about things that don't matter, and create narratives that are just not real? Because confused people are easier to control. That's why. Like, in a nutshell. All hail the lizard queen. Enablers that help facilitate lies are getting supply gain, being involved with the lies. Exactly. That's supports my theory that, you know, narcissists, enablers are probably narcissists as well, because, like, you know, you're just not their main target, right? If they're just enabling, what are they doing with the other people that are closer to them than you, right? Like, just because someone's not directly abusing you, if they're enabling abuse, what does that say about them, right? Probably something not so great. So just throwing that out there. Alicia, have it. I'm assuming you got the link from writing quiz in this chat. So yay, amazing. The automation works. Fantastic. Thank you for letting me know. Alicia, so we should just trust our guts more now? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, you've been trained to not trust your gut. And, you know, something that you can reflect on is, like, think back to, like, the times where your gut was trying to tell you something and you didn't listen and it was right? That can help. That's actually an exercise that I give to my clients in my bulletproof program, and I just threw that out there for you guys, so you're welcome. Abu Sylvia, it's awful when your own daughters are pathological liars and narcissists. That's rough. I'm sorry to hear. J Cass, you're very welcome. Free to be me. My therapist said we'll be starting EMDR soon. I don't know much about it though. Awesome. I hope it helps. All hail the lizard queen. When you reach certain levels of healing, love bombing looks pathetic. Exactly. Like, once you reach that point where, like, you are so in touch with reality and you know exactly what love bombing is, it's like, okay, yeah, nice try. Like, good luck, bud. Jan, I understand. Thanks. You're very welcome. Angel without the halo. When the narc thinks you're wrong about something and you too think you were wrong, is it good to tell them, yeah, I was wrong, or will that just give them more gas to ride on? Depends how you say it, right? You can just say, yeah, I was wrong, and, like, end it at that, and, like, no emotion in it, and, like, no big deal that I was wrong, and leave it at that, right? Like, you can say it in a gray rock kind of way, but if you say, like, I'm so sorry, I was wrong, I made a mistake, then you're giving them supply. So you want to take the emotion out of it. And, like, they are probably going to, like, you know, file you being wrong in, like, their file and, like, bring that up in the future to, like, mess with you. But, like, you have to just really keep your emotion out of it and just understand, like, they're always going to turn something into nothing. Sincerely official, Rob. It's about to be my narc's birthday in 2 days, and they've been acting a little considerate after they've been doing a lot of silent treatment and separation, like bait and switch. Yeah, that's the cycle of abuse, right? So love bomb, devalue, discard. So you've been discarded with the silent treatment, and now they're love bombing you by being a little bit considerate. And so they're basically setting it up so that if you don't wish them a happy birthday in 2 days, you're going to look like an asshole, right? And you don't. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the narcissist thinks at the end of the day. Like, the less you engage, the better. Abu Sylvia, you have awesome answers. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad this is helpful. Abu Sylvia, they are experts in gaslighting. Totally. Kayla, do narcs actually feel love for their children? So this is going to be hard to hear, but no, they love the supply they get from their children, though they really only have children to have an extension of themselves and have a source of supply for the rest of their lives. Like, they don't love themselves. They don't love anyone. They just love supply. Like, it's supply over everything for these people, and it's really fucked up. Rescue 66, thanks for your content, so relatable to my mother. I've taken on caregiving for my narcissistic mother and I can at least get a laugh from some of your skits. Oh, amazing. I'm so glad to hear. I'm so sorry you're in that caregiver position, but you know, just take it in stride and just, you know, the more you're aware of her tactics and her bullshit, and you know, it'll help you to really like stay grounded in sanity and in reality while you have to do this. I'm not gonna pronounce that properly. Ling. I'm gonna just go with that. How to protect toddler children from manipulative covert narc. So I mean, depends on the context. Like, is this someone you have custody with toddler children, or is it like a narcissistic grandparent? Because if it's a grandparent, then like you want to protect your children from them, because they're going to do the same thing to you as they're going to do the same thing to their grandchildren as they did to you. If it's like a custody situation and, you know, like the other parent is the narcissist, I mean, it just really depends on like what's written in your custody agreement. And, you know, at the end of the day, like you can't control what the narcissistic parent does, but at least they have you as like the stable, emotionally stable parent that, you know, can help them have like another perspective. So I hope that made sense. Cookies by Henny. How do I make sure I don't become a narc? So just the fact that you even asked that, you're not going to become a narc, right? Like, if you're able to self-reflect, you're not a narcissist. And like, ask yourself, like, let's do a little test. And, you know, anyone watching this, whether you're live or in the replay, ask yourself, if you're worried that you're a narcissist or you're worried you're going to become a narcissist, do you get a little kick out of causing somebody to be in an emotionally distressed state? And you want to keep doing that because that's how you get your jollies? No? Then you're fine. You're not a narcissist. So I hope that helps. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, we all have traits. It is what it is. Like, you know, but it's like the intention and the pattern behind those traits. A narcissist is going to take you through a love bomb, devalue, discard pattern, and their goal is to get supply. So, you know, we're all going to make mistakes. We all fuck up in life. But like, if your goal was not to get supply from the other person and like emotionally damage them because this gives you a rise, you're not a narcissist. So I hope that helps clarify things. And we're at the end. All right. So thank you so much for being here. I will wrap this up now. Thank you. And yeah, I'll end this here. If you know, you want to get on the wait list for the next round of Bulletproof, it's only available twice per year, so the next one will be around full. You can apply for the wait list at the link in my bio. I also have another program called the Freedom Program. It's 6 months long. You don't get as much support as Bulletproof, but it's like a quarter of the price, and you can unlock an $800 discount on the Freedom Program by going to the link in my bio. And we have Q&As twice per month, we have Voxer days twice per month, and you get lifetime access to the Freedom course as well if you decide to do the Freedom Program. All right, everyone, thank you again for being here. I will wrap this up. Take care. Bye.